Hello everyone, and welcome to what I'm calling a dev diary for my survival horror road trip game called The Grey Road. Anyway, for some context, I'm Nick, and I run a small indie company called Hushfin Games. I run it with my wife, Vivian, and she also assists with the art. In 2024, I left the AAA industry, and I've been working contracts in parallel with this project since. As I said earlier, I'm calling this game a survival horror road trip game. Basically, you'll be on a long car trip through a dangerous world. Finding shelter, items, safety will be key to your survival. This project's inspirations are classic horror survival games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Beyond that, I was also inspired by the work of Stephen King and other horror novels. So, I'd like to break this project down as a whole, and then we can talk about the current state of it, and more so, what's next. So, the main mechanic here is obviously the car. However, I didn't want to just have the car be the player, if that makes sense. I always like it when games let you get in and out of vehicles for some reason. Because of this, your car is more of a separate resource. You'll need to make sure it's repaired and fueled up, and when you leave it to explore, it's important to not stray far, as there are things out of view in the fog. Without it, you're not likely to get far, but what if there's no other option? Even so, within your car, you're not completely safe, so best to keep moving. My favorite mechanics so far are the safe houses. These are places for you to save your game and regain some health. If you die, you'll respawn at the last safe house that you rested at. You'll also need to make the safe houses quote-unquote safe. I'll have to talk about the items first to explain that, though. So here's the inventory system. I wanted to do a Tetris / Resident Evil 4 style inventory because I always like those, and I think it adds to the idea of carrying a limited amount of items. These items each have their own uses, and I'll get into that in a later dev diary, but for now it's important to understand that they can be broken down into a resource called scrap. Scrap is used mainly for repairing your car and fortifying safe houses. If you do sleep in a unfortified safe house, you're likely to be surprised in the night by an unwanted visitor. It's wise to seal up as many windows as possible, or at least as many as you can afford. The goal of the game is, of course, to get to where you're going, and as the player, that is intentionally left vague at the start of the game. I might talk about the story and lore in a different video, but I want that to all kind of be a background of the game. This is supposed to be the player's narrative. I do hope that you all like the ending to it, as I'm quite fond of it. But, of course, that's for later. Now, in order to get to your final location, the player will have to drive through several levels. These are individual chunks of the world, and they can be attached to each other in a random, or rather pseudo-random way. Obviously, giving the player an interesting world to drive around in is going to be my biggest challenge coming forwards. And I think now is a perfect time to talk about that, what I have left to do. Right now, my main goal is to work on the enemies. I've shown some in this video, but I really want to have a lot more, and I even think it would be very cool to have gigantic enemies. There's still a lot more that I'd like to talk about, but I think it's best to leave this video here for now. In a future video, I'd like to show you some of the other supporting systems, like the fuel and the weather system, and even the NPCs once we get them in. I'm super excited to keep working on this project, and I really want to share it with the world. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and you can follow me here or on Blue Sky for more updates. I suppose this is the part of the video where I tell you to like and subscribe, but either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.